Hello, everybody. It's the day after I posted the most recent podcast, and we've got Agita settled there, and we've got both the boys nicely settled here. We're looking at the window. And last night, after I posted, I had something to eat. I spent some time with the kids. I went to check on the ferals. I saw Bcee was in the shed, not in a shelter, but on one of the cat beds. I mean, for her, like 34 degrees is like warm. Doesn't need the shelter. So one of the cat beds, one of the open cat beds. And Peanut was in a shelter. And Jill, of course, came running out and went to hide on the deck because, that's Jill. So, and then had a good night with the kids. Some drama during the night with Agita, getting into dramatics, and Lcee wanting the door to the dining room opened, insisting. So did all of that, but then everybody settled down. After all the little dramas, everybody settled down, and we had a really good night, and got up and fed the kids, talked to the electricians people, and they're going to try to come today. He knew that there was the guys came, they couldn't find the problem, and I said I was very happy with their work. It's just it's going to be a little bit more involved, complicated. And I said another light is gone, so they have And he said well, he'll check with them when they after the job they're working on right now. He'll see if they can come today. And I said, not today, tomorrow, day after. It's okay. It's not urgent. I mean, we've lost this light, but everything else is still working. So I said, if you can come today, that'll be great. And if not, within the next couple of days. It's a little later, and the three of us are in here. Boys are looking, and no, stay in here for now, sweetie, because the electricians are coming back. So just stay there for now. Stay there for now. Okay? And the kids is in the back. I think there's more danger to them than to her, but she won't bother her. I think she's gone under the bed or something. So they came back, the two young men, and this one turned out to be simply bulb. So it was one of those correlation versus cause things, I guess. Just happened to fuse at the time that they're doing all of this, just after they left. So changed the light bulbs. Okay. Now here, the problem, that one is going to be very hard to solve because it's very difficult to find where the problem for those two outlets is. The lights may be just a ballast. Bulb ballast, and they've gone to the supplier to see if they can get that. If they don't make those ballasts anymore, then I'll just have to change the whole unit, or do something else for lighting besides the fluorescence. So, but so they've gone to check on that and to check on the outside. That motion sensor light, it was a bulb. So he's not sure if he can get that bulb. If they can, he'll just replace it. And we're probably going to end up leaving that issue, So at least they tried, and I played them the little clip where I talk about them, and I said, they're very nice guys, and they tried really hard, and they're doing everything, eliminating the alternatives. I tried to explain a little bit about my podcast, it's everyday things, and deal with my own struggles, and they focus on the cats, but people that I come across, and kind of nutty professor in a small town, and issues, and I said, completely anonymous, completely, don't mention the names, don't show them, don't mention the electricians, and I said, I have so few viewers, like 20 to 40, do them for myself in the future. So they might find it interesting. I'll give them the link, give them a card. So if they want to see so that's kind of okay. At least it's done. At least we know what the limitations are and what needs to be done maybe later, and I got that light back. And if I can get the light outside working, that is pretty big for me because I feed the ferals when it's dark, and it would be nice to have a little light out there rather than just flashlights. Hello everybody, it's now a couple of hours later or so later. We've got Agita is now settled here. We got one of the babies is there under the bed. That's probably Finn. And the other baby, probably Lcee, is the bolder more curious one is wandering around here after the electricians have left. And once again, outstanding young men. I'm very, very pleased. Very conscientious, very hardworking, and really, really good people. So they did what they could. This turned out to be just a light bulb. Kind of embarrassing that I couldn't change myself. Didn't think of it. But, and it went at just the time they were doing all of this, so I figured it was connected to the shirt. Turned out to be, just a light bulb. So they did that. And then they had to get a separate kind of light bulb and a ballast and something like that. And they did it. It's a new style. But they did it. So I've got light here. So that was one of the things, they are getting a bulb for the outside, with a bulb for the outside, motion sensor light. So that will make feeding the ferals a lot easier at night. I don't have to do flashlights, and even when they're eating, because I feed them just in this corner, when I'm not feeding on the deck, so they will trigger it. And there will be light whenever they're eating and stuff. So I'm very pleased about that, And one of them said that he'll just change the bulb on the way to another job once that bulb comes in. And even if I'm not home, they can come from the side gate. So, but I said I'm almost always home. So excellent people. They checked the only thing that really didn't get done was this. These two don't know what the problem is. Something very complicated. They tried everything that they could try in the basement or in the crawl space and in the attic, and testing the wires and testing if there was another outlet that was shorting them out. And they found one in the kitchen, but that wasn't shorting it out. Something else. So I said it's just not worth it to me to spend a lot more time and money just to find those two. So I mean, after the electricians left, I was like, great, I think I need to eat. So no, they're very good, and most of the problems are solved. Just one thing, those outlets, I can live without them. That's no big deal. So I'm kinda, it's gonna be a good bill, but that's okay. They've earned it. So I'm like going, time for me to go have lunch. I came to my favorite smithies here for quiche and soup. So vegetable soup and broccoli, vegetable, whatever. So only egg, so no meat. And coffee. And from here, PetSmart. I don't know if I'm going to get the actual pumpkin puree that my friend suggested and mix it with the food from the grocery store. I'll check at the grocery store. But I think an easier way of doing it is just to get the pumpkin tiki cat topper, which is mostly pumpkin, I think. And it's meant to help digestion. So I'll use that as a topper along with the rice. And one of them, used the litter box, one of the boys, it was solid. And the other one did, and it wasn't. It was still a little diuretic. And I think, should I be talking about this while I'm eating? And I think Agita's is still diuretic. Agita's got a very sensitive stomach, So, I'm going to do all that, go home, work on journal entries, just relax with the kids, appreciate being here in Chatham. Excellent young men, the electricians, and very friendly people, here at the restaurant and everywhere. Very happy to be here and to be sober. Bye for now. Hello everybody, I'm here at my favorite high-end store, Tiger. Love this store. So I bought myself another black shirt, and I got mats. These, foot mats. I don't have one for the front door. Got cats on it. Got cats. And then while I was at it, I said, okay, I might as well get one for the neighbors as well, because they got a black cat, Jack, So, and then I saw these things, and I got the letters to spell out cats. Everybody, look at that. Bcee sleeping in that thing, not in the heated shelter. I guess, -3 is kind of warm for Bcee. Likes that thing. Peanut is there, and Jill must have run under the deck. This is slightly embarrassing, but I don't know. The last time I taped, I think I just showed Bcee sitting in the wheelbarrow in the shed, and then I came in and I fed the ferals, and I'm feeding the kids. Now, I don't think I told you this part. When I went to PetSmart to get a pumpkin tiki topper, and you get it in these little pouches, from Tiki. We don't have any. Okay, we had some, but I think we used them. Skin and Coat. We don't have it, and they didn't have any pumpkin. And two of my kids still have upset stomachs. One, the poop was okay today. One of the boys. The other boy in Agita still it was diarrhea. I saw it in the litter box. So my out of province friend suggested pumpkin puree. You can get it at a grocery store. And my Toronto cat rescuer said chicken and rice soup. So last 2-3 days I've been giving them this chicken and rice soup, and she said you can cook it yourself, which I'm not going to do, but you can get commercial. So this one, chicken and rice, I've been giving it to the kids for the last 3 days. I've been giving this stuff, So my other friend said pumpkin puree. So I was at the PetSmart and I was looking for I just said, I'll do it the easy way. I'll just get the pouches. And they didn't have it. And he said, oh, we have pumpkin puree. It's just straight pumpkin, but it's dog food. And I said, I'm not buying dog food for my cats. And he goes, it's just pumpkin puree. And he said, they also do it as a cat food, but it's the exact same thing. And he said their store didn't order the cat food, but he said, it's the same thing. And I didn't even want to go to the dog aisle, so he went and got it for me, the cashier, and I brought it back. And I asked my cat rescuer friend in the other province, who's also a dog person, but she knows a lot about cats. And I asked her, and she said, read the label, and as long as it says pumpkin only. So I read the label, and it says only pumpkin, ingredients pumpkin, and then analysis and stuff. So it's got a dog on the cover. But I wasn't going to let the kids see the dog, So then I fed the ferals, and Peanut was in her shelter as usual, and the other two had gone to hide, as usual. So I fed them. I came in. Problem is, I didn't have a can opener before. I have an electric one in Toronto, and I didn't bring it, So here I had bought one. Now, I couldn't figure out how to use it. It's a manual one, and the teeth are not going around properly. And I followed, I did it that way, and I put it in, and it just wasn't going. It made a couple of holes. So then I had to expand the holes with a screwdriver and with a knife, and then I had to put water into it. The consistency is like that when it was in the can. So I had to put water into it and then stir it with the knife, and I got that much out. Now that's more than enough that we need, because she was like, go and give a teaspoon. And I've also said, so let's do this now. I've also said I am not feeding my kids, dog food without having tasted it myself. So this is the Nutty Professor. I just make sure that there's no... So this is the watery one, because I put water in together. And I met with a lot of difficulty. I can't open a freaking can. I was considering going next door to my neighbors and saying, can I borrow a can opener? Can you use a electric can opener? And they already know how unhandy I am. I have trouble changing a light bulb. I can't go over and say I can't open a can. That would be just going too far. So I'm like going, and I don't want to go out driving to get an electric can opener this time. Yes, sweetheart, it is meant to be eaten. I'm going to mix it in with your food. It is. Don't eat it directly out of here. Daddy's going to have a spoon. So, I don't think there's any iron bits or anything in there. Sweetheart, yeah, it's for you. I'm going to put it into your bowl in a second. So, and my out-of-province friend said, put a teaspoon, mix it in with their actual food. So, mix in a teaspoon with the chicken and rice. I really hope this does it, because two of them still, it's been going on a week. Nutty Professor eats dog food. It says just pumpkin. It's just pumpkin puree. The same stuff you can get in drawers is, it's marketed for dogs. But if I can feed it to my cats, to my kids, I can eat it myself. I'm not barking, and it does taste like pumpkin, So, yeah, okay. So it's not the test. I'm going to now feed it to my kids. Mix it in. Just make sure there's no iron bits. Yeah, of kind of embarrassing. There was something wrong with the can opener. It's not me. There was something wrong. The teeth were not going round properly. I got it from a dollar store. So maybe I paid. It was not $1. It was like $4 or $5. But I need to get an electric. I actually ate more than a teaspoon myself, just to test it. They seem to like it. I mixed in 1 teaspoon each for with the chicken rice cat food, and they're all eating it. And even Lcee, he's the fussiest one of the 3. He's licking it. Daddy ate some of your food too. Not the chicken one, but the pumpkin one. Okay, after that whole pumpkin fiasco, I've just been replying to a friend email and stuff like that here. Look, Agita and the boys, I hope the pumpkin works to settle their stomachs. One of the boys still has upset stomach, and one is, I think, okay. I think Agita's is still upset as well. So let's hope the pumpkin works soon. And I might get the tiki toppers tomorrow as well. So look at that. So I'm just going to relax here and we can journal. Hello, everybody. It's now a couple of days later, and yesterday I don't think I taped at all. The pulls were kind of strong in the day. Everything was fine, but the pulls were kind of strong, And then there was the whole thing with the, electricians, and, they were excellent and all of that, but a couple of the things didn't get resolved, and it was all of that, and I was waiting for the bill. Yeah, I was kind of worried about how it was going to be. It was fair. It was fair. I mean, I know what the hourly rate is for electricians, and they put a lot of hours into it, so that's absolutely fair. And the most important thing that needed to be done for me, being a feral cat dad and and a regular cat dad as well, was that light needed to be fixed outside. So that I don't have to keep feeding the ferals by flashlight. And they've done that, and they'll bring the bulb when it arrives. And they did the other thing. They did the inside light, and they checked everything. That was very important to me. They checked everything. Now the 2 outlets. It's going to be complicated, and they explained it in layman's terms, finding the wire, and it's like where exactly the problem is. It's just going to be a difficult fix, and it's going to take a lot more hours at the rate. So I said I can live with the other 2. So I was very happy with that, but I was kind of a little worried about the bill. And then I got the advice today. Very nice people. I met the owner himself. I was coming here for lunch, and it happens to be right next door. So I went and paid the bill, talked to the guy in the office and the woman there. Again, very nice people. Very helpful. And as I was leaving, it's like right next door. But I went onto the road because I didn't want to drive across snow. So I drove from there to here. It's like right next door. It's like right next door. So and then the older gentleman came, and he parked his SUV. And he saw that I had come from there to here, like right next door in the car. So he asked, and I said, yeah, I did. And he was the owner. And he asked, and he says, yes. I said, I have had work done, and I'm very pleased. Polite, respectful young man. They knew what they're doing. They told me that we can fix these 2 outlets, but we don't know how much it's going to cost because we have to find the wire, and it's not an easy fix. So I opted not to get that done for now. So it was still a pretty good bill because there were a lot of hours for 2 electricians, 2 licensed electricians. But I was prepared for that, and they did the work, and I have no problem. So I paid that, and then I talked to the owner just as I was coming here for lunch, and I'm having a lunch. So, but yesterday I was just going, I didn't know how much the bill was going to be. All this was happening, and I was like, and the time factor, and so there was pull. It was a little stronger than it has been so far this year. But I rode it out. And then I ended up going out and shoveling the snow, even though there wasn't much, but sort of for something to do. I went out and shoveled the snow. And then fed the kids, fed the ferals, did all of that stuff. And evening was better. Pulls were a bit better, watched some TV, And today I got the invoice. They sent it by email, and it was pretty much what it was. It was fair. I mean, there were a lot of hours, so I have no problem with that. But it was not exorbitant. It was, about, I think, what I expected. So I said, when I found out it was right next to my favorite Thai restaurant, I said I'll come and have lunch and pay. So I paid first, and then I did something else today. I ordered a snow shovel. It was a real bargain. Now I'm wondering if there's a catch, like maybe it doesn't come with a charger or something like that. As far as I can tell, it comes with batteries. It's a small one, and I think it's going to be like supplemental. They just hope it comes with a charger. But it was a very good price, and it was like through Walmart, but it's not Walmart. It's Wal Mart Marketplace. But Walmart, I paid Walmart, and they will handle exchanges or whatever or returns if necessary. But I think it should be okay, and it was very reasonable, and it will help. I might use it as long as the charger is with it, and the batteries are there. Then I'll use it as a supplemental thing for the path. So that was kind of exciting. One of the first things I've actually bought online. I don't do Amazon or anything like that. I used to get the pet food online back when it was curbside pickup at PetSmart, So it was the same kind of system for this. Now let's just see if the thing arrives by Friday. Hello everybody, we've got Agita nicely settled there on the bed, and we've got both the boys here. Given them breakfast, and I've fed the ferals. I put it in the alcove because there's so much snow, and of course it has to snow the day before my new electric snow shovel arrives. Now, I suspect it's more of a gimmick. It's very cheap. I don't think it's going to do much. I'm going to be probably shoveling by hand anyway. But so we had snow last night, 2-3 inches, which would have been just perfect for the snow shovel. This is dry snow and just a couple of inches. This is perfect for the snow shovel, but of course it hasn't arrived. And look, there's Jill, I think. Is it Jill? A minute ago, I think I saw Bcee up there, and but I think this is Jill. Sometimes at a distance, Bcee looks black when she's dark brown. By the size is more Bcee. But anyway, but this is a Jill kind of thing to do. Is like when it's very cold and there's snow. It's like, and there is a heated shelter. There is a shed. There is under the deck. She's sitting out there. So that's a Jill kind of thing to do. It looks black, but I don't know the size. Unless Jill is putting on weight, which is a definite possibility because they do like their food. So that's what's been happening. Exchange texts and emails with friends. And fed the kids, and still giving the kids the pumpkin. I think it's starting to help the stomachs a little bit, or it's just time. And then the snow, my snow shovel, the first thing I've actually bought online. I mean, it's through Walmart, but I bought it online and Walmart Marketplace, and it comes through Walmart, so I have to go pick it up there when it's ready. But I did it all online, and if I bought something from a shop, I would have had it yesterday. Closer, it's definitely Jill. But earlier, I think just a few minutes before, I think it was Bcee, and I think Jill is putting on weight, which is a good thing. Hello everybody, it's now the next day, and this is Lcee, and that's Agita, and Finn is under the bed there, just that corner, So we're all four of us on or under the bed, and I don't think I taped at all yesterday. It was kind of a busy day, and cleared some snow manually because the snow shovel hadn't arrived, and got some takeout food and stuff like that, and just stayed in with the kids, fed the ferals, fed the kids, did all of that stuff. And then, but the pulls were better. I was, rechanneling all of that. And then today I did go and pick up the electric shovel There's no snow now. It's warmed up quite a bit. So, so I haven't tested it out yet. I haven't even assembled it. I've just got it in the box. But I came back and fed the Phils, fed the kids. And there is Finn under the bed. And I just got up, I'm going to put some clothes in the dryer, and Lcee got up as well. So Lcee's here, Finn is under the bed, and Agita is still on the bed. Now, both of them are under the bed. So I'll put clothes in the dryer and then work more on journals and have something to eat, watch some streaming, check on the Phils, and then go to bed. Hello everybody, it's the next day, and got up, fed the Phils, fed the kids, fed the Phils. There has been some pull this morning again. It's okay, I kind of wrote it out, and it's snowing again, and I don't have a charger. I have batteries, but I don't have a charger. So I just assembled it. It's just putting two screws in there, basically. That's it, and it really comes semi-assembled. Now, the thing about the batteries are, I don't know if it comes charged from the factory, but maybe this is enough for a couple of blowings until the charger arrives, or I find one. I might go out looking at Canadian Tire somewhere if I can get it in a store. I don't know if it has to be for this exact same model, or if it's just a lithium 20 volt, and it's a little charger thing. So you got the. So that's the battery, and it goes into there. And it comes with two batteries, It goes into there. And this is there is a cable which attaches there. Now, I don't know if it can go into any charger that is 20 volt and AH3. I'll have to check at Canadian Tire somewhere. And if not, the actual one, the proper one for this thing, it's like $80, a fast charger, and it's Amazon. But then I'll have to order it in Amazon, and which this is the first online ordering I've ever actually done. And it was kind of through Wal Mart. Now, through Amazon, this is the next step. I don't know if I can do it. Now, the other news is, I had a good night, and, the kids were on the bed, everything was fine. But everybody, it's now the next day. We've got Agita very comfortably settled there, and both the babies very nicely settled here in the window perch. Now, had a good evening, had a good night. I watched some streaming, fed the kids, fed the Phils, just relaxed a bit. Had a good night with the kids. I think there was minimal Agita drama. In the morning, the pulls were quite strong again. I guess it's a time thing and all of that. And, so, again, it really helps, really helps if there are no options there. And there are all the pushes, the huge pushes, my kids, the indoor kids, and also looking after the Phils. Huge push. And then my friends and my wonderful neighbors, and you're really enjoying this house and this town and this community, all of that stuff. All huge pushes, but that doesn't mean that the pulls are going to suddenly dwindle to zero after months. They keep coming up. They keep coming up. They keep resurfacing. And there was a bit of distraction with the whole snow blower thing, and ordering it online and all snow stick, whatever that thing is. I've just been thinking it's kind of symbolic that snow is actually a slang for something else. It's used as a symbol for something else. But in this case, this was a real snow remover that I bought, to remove snow. So I just had a little funny little symbolism, So on the whole, it has been a good week in terms of sort of kept busy. There have been pulls though, but kept busy, and it's now getting cold again. It is getting cold again. It snowed during the week, and now it's getting cold again. So I've got the heated shelters on for the Phils, and the heated bowls and all of that stuff. And I'm mostly staying in with the kids, except going out occasionally to eat or to do some shopping or and of course just to feed the ferals and do all of that. So it's been a good week. There have been polls. That's the news. There have been polls, but it's okay. I'm just just writing them out. Just relying on the pushes and just going to keep going, day by day, one day at a time. So I think I'm going to, if I can, I'll edit and post today. So I'll keep this brief. I don't think I have too much more to add. I had some thoughts about theories and the whole thing in terms of I keep talking about why 12 steps don't work for me, and ultimately the Jungian approach or the analysis didn't work either, and I had some thoughts about that and the whole kind of framework, the Jungian framework and shadow and all of that stuff and anima and the stuff that I've been dealing with, but in a different way, and how those approaches just didn't work. I had some thoughts, but I'm not going to go into them here. I'm going to maybe try to write about them a bit and see can I explore that a bit and try to get back to some writing, not just journal entries. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say for now. That still clear, not counting, but it's been 4 or 5 months, in the house. And the last major binge was a couple of weeks before moving to the house, So it's been like 4 or 5 months since the last major binge. And then there was a limited, there was what I call the blip rather than the spiral that occurred here sometime in November. But it wasn't a full-fledged binge as such. Probably because the options here are so limited, So that's that's what's happened, and just going to keep going. So from the 7 of us, okay, so we've got the 2 babies here. We've got from Lcee and Finn, very nicely settled in their cat bed there, and from Agita here, very nicely settled on her thing. 3D, and from the 3 ferals outside, Peanut, Bcee, and Jill. Hopefully they're in the shelter, in the heated shelters, because it's really quite cold again outside. So from the 7 of us, okay, bye for now, and see you next. And from myself, of course, too, from the Nadia's craziest, most fucked up professor ever walked the face of the earth. So from the 7 of us, bye for now. See you next podcast. Hello, everybody. It's now a couple of hours later, and I've just been editing in the living room, and Agita is nicely settled here, and both the babies are nicely settled here in the living room, so Lcee and Finn, So that must be Finn. And that must be Lcee. And this is a little bit of bonus footage because I have a couple of more minutes that I can use. And I was sitting here editing, and then I had a thought because in my statements earlier, I did mention I thought about Jungian analysis and how it wasn't working for me and all that kind of stuff. But what really triggered that was I had a dream last night, and for many years, I was in Jungian analysis, and there's a certain way of analyzing dreams. This is what Freud called going from the manifest content, what you actually dream about, to the latent content. What does that actually mean, interpreting it. So last night, and I'm not going to go into details on this, but just I will mention that I had a dream about teaching, and and I pretty much decided in the dream that I was going to leave teaching. It was the last class of the semester, and I was late by an hour. And I get there, and my boss is in the room, is in the classroom, and my boss is, of all people, my boss is Elon Musk. Okay, so Elon Musk is my boss, and he was very critical of me, and he was very critical of my teaching style and of the nutty professor. And at the same time, he was in the classroom. He had people around him, and he was also running the country, the other country. So he was like, he was like having meetings, and he was doing this and he was doing that, and he was like, and that's in the dream. And I woke up, and I'm like going, okay. from the Jungian perspective. And for so many years, I took the analysis very seriously. It becomes almost, the whole Jungian approach, any of these approaches, becomes almost like a religion in itself, And there's sort of dogma, and this is the right way of doing it, and this is how it is, and this is what you should do, and this is what anima is, and this is what shadow is, and this is how you're supposed to deal with it, and this is good, and this is bad, And this is how you interpret dreams. So for years, I used to put a lot of effort into my dreams and write them all out and type them, and go over them with my analyst once a week in person, and then via Zoom. And then at one point I used to send him, written transcripts of the dreams before the session. So he used to put time into it before we even, had the session. So, it was... But the standard interpretation was, and I did this for years, and he was very good. I have to say this, he was very good at dream interpretation. But then, that's using his framework, or their framework, or a framework, And in that framework, the every aspect, it makes sense. I mean, I'm not saying I disagree with this, but every aspect, everything that is in your dream is an aspect of your psyche. So if I'm having a dream of Elon Musk, it's like the analyst would be going, my analyst or any analyst using that approach would be going, so what part of you right now, what part of you is Elon Musk? And what is Elon Musk to you? I think we'll start more with that. Politically and in terms of his personality and all that stuff, which I really don't like, So, so it's an aspect of you that you don't like, and that is kind of right wing, and that is very dictatorial, and is very this and very that, and why is that coming up now in your psyche? What's happening in your world? And I'm lying in bed thinking about all this, and I'm like, look, I don't even know after all this time if I completely agree that this is the way to go from manifest content to latent content, and that, it makes sense. Elon Musk is a part of me, but whatever the energy, it's because that Muskian energy. Why is that being critical? And and in a way, he is, he's affiliated politically with the other podcaster, the other Jungian podcaster, the famous one, the real famous one. Who I've heard actually he's moved to the States. He's not even in Canada anymore, So the very political one and the very famous one, who was also a Cyprof, different place than I was. But difference is he's got millions of followers. I have 20 to 40. But that's fine. Any professor flies into the radar. Any professor identifies as a cat. I mean, see what's Puss in Boots. So we're kind of a different kind of energy here, but I'm like going, maybe there is some things that some critical aspects unconsciously that taking a kind of a more a practical or right wing approach. This is this is kind of critical of what the nutty professor persona is. I don't know. On the other hand, I was like going, look. It was a dream, and I think dreams are important, and the feeling of the dream, and there is something going on there, and there's there's some critical energy maybe, but I'm not going to take it like this is the only way that you approach a dream. This is a part of you, and this is what part of you is Elon Musk. I haven't done that kind of thing in a while, and I'm not going to. I'll write it down. I'll think about it. I'll reflect on it. I think it's kind of funny. I would never ever buy a Tesla. Not just because of him, but because I don't like them, and they have like laptops with screens, and I hate that. But but anyway, I just thought I'd add that as bonus footage, a little bit of dream interpretation. So, well, not even interpretation, because I don't really interpret anymore. I just have the dreams, and I look at them, I think about them, but I don't interpret them. So we got Finn there. So once again, okay, from the 7 of us. So from Finn, nicely settled there. Lcee, nicely settled there. Agita, nicely settled there. And Ferals, hopefully nicely settled in the shed because it's very cold. And I will be going out to feed them in a little bit. So from the 4 of us inside, the 3 of us outside, and myself, Nutty's craziest, most fucked up professor I've ever worked with the earth. So from the 7 of us, bye for now. See you next podcast.